Get strong.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, and welcome to the Amateur Otaku podcast. I'm your host of tonight, the Mad Doc Isaac, and joining me yet again is Arkwinder. How's it going, man?
I am okay, tired, but I'm excited to talk about Fairytail, the 100 Years Quest.
Yes, which I am too. It's with episode about coming animes for the season, and this was I think it was my top pick for the anime I was most excited for, and because I'm a big Fairytale guy, if I'm being completely honest.
Do you
Thank you.
do you watch Fairytale for the plot or the plot?
The plot. There's a joke I have about the plot in quotation mark later down the line, but I just want to start with before we go to the sequel in question and ask you about what, since we haven't covered the original, what are your thoughts about the original that started it all?
All right, so let me just preface this with just a few disclaimers. I haven't watched the original in a few years, so not ingrained in my mind. Like a lot of details are a bit fuzzy for me, and also I didn't finish the original show, not because it was bad. I was just at the time Tartarus arc, which I think the anime was adapted. Yeah, the anime was in the Tartarus arc, and I just was busy with other things, so I just kind of lost interest in it. But from what I remember it, I think the show was quite fun for what it was. I don't really get the hate for it. I get, it's a nice fun adventure show. It has some things people point out. I just point out the plot, but aside from that, there's nothing. Fairy Tail is just a fun show that I would recommend to people if they can just get past the fan service, because I think it's a genuinely there are some genuinely great moments in the show with the characters and also some really good action work. So overall, I need to rewatch the original show, but I think it will probably hold up just as well as I watched it back in the day.
Yeah, I get what you mean. And for me, it's actually this is to one extent my in the anime equivalent, since Dragon Ball and Naruto didn't, and all those shows weren't shown back in the day. And well, the traditional old school ways of watching animes prior to Crunchyroll. This was my jam when I was much younger, and I just love the camaraderie and the interactions between the characters, especially towards the guild members, because they feel like an actual family, which is a big deal in this show, or this manga in general. And this is a big reason why I followed it, because, well, character interaction, and there is a reason why people that even dislike Fairytale that said give him a slice of life manga or something like that, because he knows how to build character interaction, funny characters, all that. Yes,
Yeah.
which is also, I need to point it out. The score in this in the anime and the sequel is freaking legendary, and is another reason why I downright love it.
Oh yeah, the music's so it's so awesome. Yeah, that's I still remember that. Even though I haven't watched the show in years, that's still locked into the mind because it's
It's
just
I will say this. It's on par with you say Ron from My Hero Academia in the type of good, and that's and if not better, and I'm standing by that. I know it will be probably a controversial take, but I don't freaking care. If you care, if you disagree, comment down below and say why I'm stupid about that regard.
Mike's somewhere.
When it comes,
Mike's just shivering right now. It's oh, I just felt something off.
it's funny that you mention quote unquote the plot, and while it is rolling the eyes and including, I will admit, I have often joked with my sis that also watched it with me when we were younger, and we said, sure, there is fan service. One type of fan service, he gives fan service to everyone, so he equals it out. So that's not bad per se, is it?
Yeah, exactly. It's true equality. He's
Exactly.
giving everyone some a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Like in Fairytale, like 100 Years Quest. There's some male fan service. Do you know what? Everything balances out.
Exactly. Which is why I just find it funny about the whole comments of fan service. I mean, if it bothers, I understand, but at the same time, it's just not, in lack of better terms, it's not prison school or stuff like that, which is ugh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The closest thing to comparison with this time, it's will probably food wars, but anyway.
Yeah.
And I just love the camaraderie so much that I just
Yeah,
and sure it is a lot of power of friendship, but it works within the context of the story.
yeah,
It's it's a lot about family in these themes of the fairy tale, so
yeah.
thematically it makes sense.
Yeah, it's like also like you like how like whether you love it or hate it, there's like the series does have like the reoccurring like motif is like oh this character used to be bad but then they became a good guy and all that. Like
Yeah.
Gagio and like Jalal, which okay with Jalal like it was more like he was from what I remember he was like brainwashed or something or he was mentally messed
Yes.
around with. It's
Yes.
still a motif. So like in like
Not to mention a certain grandfather of a lot of power of friendships as well. So
mm,
I'm just saying, so it shouldn't. I don't understand why Fairytale in that much complaints. Well, when I saw that this will get a sequel manga once it ended, I was hyped. Honestly, I do mean hyped. I have to say one thing before we really start with Fairytale: The 100-Year Quest, and that is the creator of Fairytale. He is an interesting person because, well, you know how a lot of mangakas has a problem in getting more than one popular manga before they start one that is successful. They go to the next. It's not often not successful, etc., etc.
mm,
He has had three mangas that is successful back to back, which is no, scratch that. He has had four. Raymaster.
yeah.
He did Raymaster. Did Fairy Tale. He did Fairy Tale 100-Year Quest. He done Eden Zero, and he has done Dead Rock, which has garnered some popularities and looking promising so far. And going 4 to 4, it's not common for any manga author. So he clearly knows what he's doing to some extent.
I think he just knows like his audience and all that. He
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're pretty sure, like, with Ian Zero and Fairy Tale, I'm pretty sure, he has, I haven't seen Wraith Master, so I can't really, I can't comment on that, but, let's see, Fairy Tale, you have dumb main character guy, pretty blonde, female lead. Like, but like with and I know like no like Eden Zero and Fairy Tale have a lot of different settings, different themes, different characters and all that. But like there's some like he knows like the basic formula. Say okay, this is the basis. Let me just build off from that. That has worked well for me. So let's keep on just repeating it.
Exactly. If it's not broke, why fix it? Whatever the saying goes, you get what I mean.
I get what you
If
mean.
you
Yeah.
wonder what I'm talking about, this is Raymaster.
Oh, yeah, I was familiar with it. Like, oh my god, like the little snowman guy. Like he's everywhere. He's been in Fairy Tale, Rave Master, and also I think it was in Eden Zero too. So like Mashima really just likes to like reuse his a lot of his characters, which
Yeah.
fair enough. If it works, you might as well keep pushing it down.
That's from my understandings, the quote unquote animals that keep reusing it to an extent, Easter eggs for his other works, kind of deal. Anyway, going back to the sequel as a whole, this is a show. It takes place after when they have defeated the big Acnalolia, and they are going to doing a major quest where they have to defeat several dragon gods, which some needs to be sealed / killed off. And boy, is the adventure to behold at the start.
Yeah.
That with things they are not prepped for to do.
I mean, finding a god is probably one of the things they were not expect. They didn't really expect to do. So there's.
And I have to ask you, do you remember when you heard about the Fairytail getting a sequel and your thoughts and all that? Yes.
My thoughts was like, well, that's pretty neat. Should probably go finish off the first series. That did not happen, so now I'm now just but I knew enough about the ending of like the first series, so I'm like, okay, I got all the important bits and pieces here, so I can like figure out the rest of the way. Plus, the show does recap stuff from like the ends of like the first season, which of the first series. Which do not watch Fairytale 100 Year Quest with if you haven't seen like the first show, but because like like despite it like filling in like just in case you guys for any like old time viewers forgot, it's best to watch the show with you when you have all the context from the first series. Which I understand it's a long show. Even if you cut down the filler, it's still a bit of a journey. But don't watch this show until you watch the first show, because I know I do recommend it. It's still like it is a nice show. It is like a very a fun show to watch.
I have to say, when I saw that it was going to get a sequel, I will admit I got quite ecstatic because, as I said before, to an extent, it's part of my childhood. Like someone has Dragon Ball, Naruto, or One Piece. Sure, I like One Piece more, but that's besides the point here. This is starting off really strong in my book, where it's just simple. They go to their employee, they get the job. They start off. One thing that I have complaints about other shows where we'll talk about in another episode, but just okay, I want to expand this show. Let's go to another continent and explore that, and not just stick to one place, so to speak, and just force something in there.
Yeah, it'd probably be better just to like pretty sure with like the first show, all this stuff was wrapped up there. So like trying to like force something like say, they did. There's this other thing that they that was also in this place, but we never talked about in the first show because reasons. But it was probably the best idea to be like, okay, let's just go somewhere else. Let's go to another continent and just roll with it there. We'll build a whole new world there.
Although I have to say, I did roll my eyes about when they reused the gag of quote unquote identical guild. Like they had, as you might remember, there is a gag that they come to a different reality where they have a gag, they have a split personality type guild with all the characters and all that, but they have a somewhat of a different name.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like when I like that, do like the episode when they do meet their double gangers and
Yeah.
it's just like Gray is just like he's using his stripping like his counterpart Gren. He's using his stripping to make some buck. I'm like
I mean, it fits his original character, considering he used that much clothes when he attacked. So, and the fact that Ursa is just a calm, collected, nerdy actress. It's just considering how she's a badass warrior normally was just such an interesting contrast. I do have to say the funniest thing is the Lucy Natsu counterparts in some aspects because I know the crap out of each other in some expense there also, and this is why I laugh at it. This is just another example of Hiro Mashima just teasing and is it Nalu fans that the shipping fans are calling it?
Yeah, I think it was Nalu fans.
With considering it might not be, you might not see it clearly when they are outside, but it's said to be that they are together. And yes, well played, Hiramashima. Well played.
Yeah, well played indeed.
And Wendy is, well, Wendy, no matter where she is. I have to ask you, more particular, what do you think about the idea of a guild that eats dragons in comparison to, well, the Dragon Slayer ones
Like,
here, and that we are known to in the previous one? Because
I,
that's an interesting concept.
yeah, like I would say, yeah, that's a pretty great concept. Especially since you do need like some an intimidating bad guy force and all that. So what's more intimidating than like people say, "Well, look, we're the tough guys. We eat dragons, and we're gonna go kill these dragon gods because that's just or we're just gonna steal their power." Like we'll get to that later. But I say, yeah, I think it provides a new twist on on the already existing magic, while also creating an intimidating bad guy force to to have our characters face against, to have them like, oh my goodness, how they're gonna beat guys who eat dragons. Overall, yeah, I think it's a great idea that this, and I'm interested to see how the series progresses with these guys.
And I also have to ask one thing, which is just making this in this recording even weirder. But is Hiroshima a fan of BDSM?
We
I'm
are
looking at the scene
nine,
with Ursa.
yeah, 99% sure he is. And like it's there's it's like that joke, like that meme where it's like it today, like the writer's barely disguised fetish. It's said, but in Fairytale, it's the writer's explicit fetish at this because it's pretty clear.
I mean, and it's good for him to not be afraid of what he wants to show, I guess.
uh,
And I have to ask you another thing, but what do you think about the idea of them just introducing us to having Natsu's adopted father having a, well, biological son that he somehow never mentioned for Natsu? I know that some people are calling this just out of nowhere,
I
but
hmm.
what are your thoughts about it?
I should preface this again. It's been years since I watched the first Fairy Tale series, so
They never
details on
mention him in the original,
I know
so
that.
it's not.
I'm saying I'm talking about Ignil's character, and like his stuff. And I'll just say I understand it's a bit might be a bit annoying for some people. Like, oh, it's like I'm actually your long lost like sibling and all that. I understand where people could get a bit annoyed with that. With that said, again, I would need to rewatch the show and just to get re-familiar with Ignil's character. I I could reasonably imagine him maybe never wanting to bring up his other children that he has had. Maybe just because that those were just people. Those are just those kids were just people like the kids he had like biologically. They were probably like a well, I gotta just make more dragons. So back no like skin off my back. I'm just gonna just do that. I'm just gonna fly away. And he meets Natsu, then that's where his whole thing changes. Though I
And I'd argue that his kid is not like his father. His kid is kind of, say, psychotic to
Y-
an
Yeah,
extent.
I think I mean yeah, I think he's also a bit bloodthirsty too. So the only reason why he came in clutch to save Knots in the game from being killed by the sea dragon is because like I know I want to fight this guy, and then he just gives Natsu his fire, say, okay, now eat this. I'm not gonna fight for you because you're not gonna get any stronger. I want you to be to get stronger so we can fight properly. Because if we don't, because if you fight me right now, like I'll just cook your ass. So that's
I mean, he's not wrong.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
not wrong.
yeah. Look, like the gang could barely even defeat Mur the Sea Dragon. What chances do they have against the other guys? Who, by the way, Mur was weakened because of the White Mage. If they couldn't
Which
beat,
is another antagonist that is worth mentioning about after we talk about the dragons here.
yeah, yeah. I just want to finish it off. If they could barely beat like the weakened Sea Dragon guy with if they had to get help from like another guy to get more powerful. like they're gonna have need like the biggest miracle of all time to beat the other four guys, especially since the next dragon is a lot bigger than the water dragon, like gigantic. So they're going to need to find a way to get extremely powerful to fight off those other gods.
Yeah, and a funny side note, you know how got the voice, English voice for
Yeah,
here.
yeah, that's Alejandro Sapp. Like, yeah, he's done Persona and like, and also, and like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, I know his work. Persona.
This is his second villain
Uh,
role back
uh,
to back with
oh yeah,
him doing the villain in Kaiju number 8.
I saw that tweet. This is also his second fairy tale character ever. So I'm like, like him voicing him. Like, well, we're getting like some good throwbacks here. Some very good throwbacks.
Here's another. What do you think of the whole idea of the white mage villain as someone that wants to, in some essence, control other mages and wants to control the entire Fairytale guild?
Yeah, like, yeah, I think pretty sure like the white mage's goals is just to destroy all magic. Is that, or at least purify everything? Is that am I getting that right? Or
Sorta.
all right, so like I say, not like not the most original idea out there, but I do like how like with the right white mage, you have like the possessing somebody, and there's like a bit of a conflict there. So like so I'm like I do like that aspect of it. So I think like I would like to see more about the character work with the white mage before I can make a final judgment. Like so far overall, I think she works fine as an antagonist force. And at the end of the eighth episode where the brainwashed fairytale guild is about to fight Urza, Natsu, and I think it was Wendy, right? Or was it Lucy?
Every one of the teams are there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so yeah, like seeing like all the guys there just about to throw down. I'm like, oh, okay. Like the white mage doesn't really mess around because if she can like can subdue and brainwash the Fairytale Guild, which has some really hard hitters, then like what else can she really do when she acquires more and more power? Because she has like the Sea Dragon's power. She stole like a good chunk of Mer's power. So now, what else is she going to do next? So I'm curious to see what her next parts of her plan are going to be.
And a fun fact, without going too much into detail, but she is rebellion against the counterpart to Seraph back in the day,
Oh, really? Huh.
which is an interesting side note. But I can't recall how they solved that whole thing. If they have solved it, it was a while since I was up to speed with the manga, I will admit. But I do like the whole side antagonist, or you should, I don't know if you, would you call it main antagonist? No, I would call it side antagonist since the dragons are essentially the main antagonist. Or what would you say?
I say like I think like right now the white mage is like kind of like the side villain. She's just doing her own thing. Like I would need to see like where her character goes because I could see her becoming like the final boss if she acquires more power. Or maybe like like maybe when she tries to like say, okay, I'm gonna fight these other dragons. What can go wrong? Then she gets bodied. Then I could imagine then the dragons like or the final boss be like, okay, I'm stealing your power now. I'm gonna be even more stronger than ever. I will be unstoppable. So right now I say it's 50-50 about where like the white mage can go. As for like the dragon eaters and the other dragons, I say probably like when it comes to like who I rank as like more like the threatening or most importance of the bad guys, I say top tier is definitely the other dragon gods. Then it's the white mage, then it's like the other dragon eaters. Most because the dragon eaters got their got destroyed by the gang after their second battle. Okay, well okay they retreated, but you get what I mean. Like they're not.
Yeah.
I don't perceive them as intimidating as compared to like the white mage who managed to subdue the entire Fairytale Guild, which is not an easy feat, as anyone would know. And the Dragon Gods, because they're gods.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how it's followed up, considering there's three antagonist forces, and I do love how they are currently in. I love how they are with no, not only stuck against their own family, but they also is in a city that is basically sitting on one of the gods' foot, and boy, is that dragon big.
Yeah, that is a very, very big dragon. And that's like, I'm like, yeah, you guys are gonna need a miracle to beat that thing, especially since,
Sure, it's
yeah,
the forest dragon, but
yeah,
still.
yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah, fire can beat the forest dragon, but I think you're going to need a lot of fire because if even Gildarts failed this 100-year quest, what chances do you guys have? Well, you just kind of
Yeah,
lucked out with Myrrh.
and it's so funny. People are joking about how Gildart looks like Shank, which I can see the resemblance.
Yeah, 'cause well, yeah. Oh my goodness, you're right. There's, huh? I guess they're I guess like the best authors copy each other, I suppose.
I not I know that there's some people that claims that he has worked with Oda for a bit, but and it's or it could just be well, as said, it could just be a coincidence. I mean, just look at it: left Shanks, right Gildarts.
Yeah, I definitely see the resemblance. I got though Gildart's here looks a lot more granted the expressions, but Gildart's looks more like chilled out. Seems like I could probably have a beer with this man and have a good time.
Yeah, but is there anything else that you wanna mention of this show before we wrap things up?
All right, so you all saw like my the little tagline under my username. I'm like, I saw like Brandish. I'm like, okay, maybe I gotta go watch the first. Gotta finish the original series first. For uh, research. Yeah, because she was pretty fun in the show. I like her. I really love her personality. Like I do like their dynamic with Lucy and all that, where like they have like the kind of like the frenemy dynamic, like the rivalry dynamic. So I'm like, oh, okay. I gotta go. I want to watch more of that because that was pretty fun. Brandish was pretty fun. So I would just I'm not gonna say any definitive statements, but I'm gonna say Brandish already soared up to the top 5 for me in terms of fairy tale ladies. Just saying.
Understandable, understandable.
But enough of um my preferences in women. Do you have anything else to say about the show, Isaac?
I mean, nothing more than I'm looking forward to the rest of the series, and I am going to be, and I have to go back to the manga now. I read the more I think about it. There was a lot of other mangas that I read. There is some that has unfortunately take a back turner, but I digress.
Yeah, I get So yeah, just to wrap it up, I say, for people who watch the first fairy tale show, like if you really liked it, liked it from like start to finish, I think you'll definitely like 100 Years Quest. Like for people who, are just mildly interested in the show, just go watch Fairy Tale and see if that interests you. If you watch it, you'll love it from start to finish, then go watch here. Like, yeah, this is basically, yeah, watch the show if you have watched the original and you liked it. That's all. That's my concluding thoughts of on the 100-year quest for me.
Amen to that. Amen to that. With that said, where can people find you, Nathan?
On Twitter, you can find me at Nate the VA. On my YouTube, you can find me at Arkwinder. I have made several reviews. I have made my hero work video, like the first work from back in the day. I made and then I made Fire Force season 1 review. Then Rent a Girlfriend, Chainsaw Man. Like Isaac's favorite video, probably 100 Girlfriends. So I want and make some shorts too, like of just random subjects. Probably will be making more shorts with the school year and not having as much time, but I digress. And like, if you want to support me, please go subscribe to my channel, like my videos. If maybe join my Patreon, if that will really make my day. I'm like, give me money, give me money, give me money. But yeah, like, if you want to just support me, just go, yeah, just like and subscribe on my YouTube and a follow on my Twitter would really go a long ways. Thank you, thank you.
And well, you can find me here as always on the Amateur Otaku, and you can find my writing works at the Wolf Writes. And as of right now, I'm working on starting my Let's Play channel. So I don't know when that is finished. The first, it's going to be record, edit, post, record, edit, post. So it's just a question of when I am finished the record and started posting it. Finished record and editing it before I can make some final confirmation on when I'm gonna start publishing it. But with that said, have it awesome, everyone.
Yeah. Take care, everyone. Have a good night. Keep
And
being
please
awesome.
like and subscribe and press that button. Hero.